Approval of the minutes from August 13th.
I'll move to approve. I'll second.
Motion made by Joni, seconded by Lisa. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Student report. Welcome.
You're going to start by introducing yourself and then give us the report for the month. Thank you for being here.
Hi, I'm Jordan, and I am the student representative. So last week was the first week of school. Everything went pretty well. Most of the clubs had their first meeting. And then one notable thing on the first day was that everyone got ice cream at the end of the day, and everyone really loved it and thinks that we should do it next year. So it was very cool. There's also a lot of new things going on this year with like the smart passes and everything, which everyone's getting used to, but I think it's going well. And then for sports, volleyball won their first game in 3 sets versus New Lisbon, and they have their weekend tournament this weekend in the Dells. Cross country, the season's off to a good start. They had their meets at Cashin and CFC. The girls' team got second at both, and then multiple medals at all levels. And their next race is at River Valley on Saturday if anyone wants to go. And then football is also doing pretty good. They had a shutout with their last game, 37-0, which I believe was against Brookwood. And they play Ithaca on Friday. Cheerleading is also doing very well. They have practice every day, and they're also doing something new this year. They're doing appreciation baskets for, like, they pair up with everyone on the team, and then they get like a little basket for each other, which I'm sure that's very fun. For the musical, the cast and everyone is having practice multiple times a week, and then the pit for the musical practices on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that's going well as well. As for the club, student council met last Thursday and then today again to discuss homecoming and like the games, everything going on like that. The theme for the week is Welcome to the Jungle, and then the theme for the dance is A Night in Rio. And so we're going to build some palm trees. I was working on that today. FCCLA had their first member meeting yesterday to welcome the new members and then discuss what's going on in September and October. FFA had their first chapter meeting of the year, and then they're already looking ahead to January for donkey basketball, which also seems very fun. And then they have their national convention in October. Acadec had their first meeting today after school. The theme this year is Roaring 20s, which everyone is very excited about it and drew in some new members. So, yeah, that's it. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan, and thank you for taking time out to come to our meeting. We appreciate. All right, next strategic planning community session is scheduled for September 24th at 6 p.m., 2 weeks from today, and we will have that here in the Bangor Middle School, High School Commons.
I will have that posted, so you're all invited and to attend, and hopefully we get a good group here and can have some good discussions.
So I think you had asked for RSVPs, but you're going to post it, so it doesn't really matter.
Correct. For the board, I'll post
Okay.
it just to make sure we're covered.
Thank you.
And then moving on, our budget hearing and annual meeting is also scheduled for Wednesday, October 22nd. We will start that here at 6 p.m. We'll start with the budget hearing, followed by the annual meeting, and then the special board meeting. State Education Convention is scheduled for January 21st to the 23rd in Milwaukee. If any of you are interested, please let David know. Hopefully by the end of this evening. It says by the end of the September meeting, which is today. If you plan to attend, just makes it easier so he can get hotel reservations. Committee reports, Goals Committee. We met last week on Wednesday. Tina is the chair of that committee.
And we'll have the goals later for approval, but if you wanted to give any synopsis or you want to wait till the approval. I think we probably wait and then vote on them.
Okay, sounds good. Building and Grounds Committee has a meeting on 9/15 at 4 o'clock in the boardroom. And Transportation has a committee meeting on 9/15 Monday at 5:15 in the boardroom. If you have any questions about that, you can check with David. Financial documents. Any questions? Did you receive
We
any?
did not field any questions, had a couple of just minor ones thrown out here, but typical things that we've seen in the past. Looking for approval of the financials.
I make a motion to approve the financials as presented.
Second.
Motion by Tina, or excuse me, motion by Shelley, seconded by Tina. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. District reports, strategic planning updates. Dr. Brackup.
I think just giving you a real quick one, obviously the planning for that meeting on the 24th is important to us. Getting that information out there, we'll have a couple more waves of information that we send out as we get closer, but we wanted to make sure that folks that could start to mark that calendar in advance, so getting that out there. We did do a kind of a session, brainstorming session with our staff during the back to school in service. Had some really good discussions there. Didn't dedicate a ton of time to it, but gathered a lot of information. One of the nice things working with CISA is we have given them all of that information and a whole bunch of other data, and they are compiling that all together for their presentation on the 24th, just to kind of guide us through some of those discussions there. So nice to be partnering with them on that. So any questions, or has anybody fielded any questions on the strategic planning, the why, or the anything like that? Perfect. All right. That's all I got.
Thank you. So we have some action items. The 25-26 district calendar adjustment due to the track, is that right?
Yep, to the sectional track meet. I shared this with you last month, and we had known this might be a possibility, and I actually had it highlighted it originally on the calendar, but the only change to the 25-26 calendar with this is that the May, I think it's May 29th, is now a half day. We will feed students that day. The only confusing thing about this, and we'll communicate it better, but I think it still makes sense, is that will be a half day that will feed kids. They'll be here till noon and 12:05. A week later, when we dismiss on the last day of school, we don't feed students, and they dismiss at 11 and 11:05. So there was a little confusion on that last year. We'll just do a little better job of communicating that out. But it makes sense on both days to feed them on the day that we're still going to have meals after that, and not on the last. So so looking for just approval of that change, and we'll communicate that out to families then.
I'll move to approve the amended calendar for the 2025-26 school year to reflect a half day with lunches served on May 29th, 2026.
Second.
Motion made by Joni, seconded by Kelly. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 2025-2026 district goals.
I'm going to let Tina talk a little bit about that, and then I can jump in if you have any questions.
I have been able to be on the goals committee, I think, since I got on the board. So our goals have changed. Originally, from when we started, we had a lot of number targets and different focuses specific to each individual thing. We changed them a couple years ago to make them a little bit broader, with trying to address all elementary and high school for everyone, which is a little bit difficult. However, with David and our past administration, they very much liked these goals, supported these goals, brought these suggestions to us, especially from the Guiding Coalition. I remember Mr. Mullenberg had a lot of this. So we decided to kind of take the same things that have been working really well for us and continue with that process, meet again in January, just to give our new staff some time to get used to it, make sure we're setting our leadership up for success without trying to change things right away off the bat. So it just kind of keeps things a little bit more steady, stable. Everybody knows where we're going, and not change something that's already really working well. So our suggestion was to keep what we have, meet again in January after we do the strategic planning and prioritizing, because that may give us key things to change in our goals. But changing it now, then doing the planning, and then changing it again only leads for more confusion, in my opinion.
The other members on this committee are myself and Jessica, and we all agreed.
Yeah, thank you. It was a good discussion. And I think rolling forward with something that works right now makes sense. So we'd be looking for approval of the 25-26 goals as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the goals for the 2025-2026 school year as reviewed by the Goals Committee.
Second.
Motion made by Lori, seconded by Joni.
Lisa.
Oh, Lisa, sorry. Oh, I'm
happens all
sorry,
the time.
Lisa.
It
I'm sorry. Motion made by Lisa, seconded by Joni. Any further questions? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Some personnel, Dr. Brackup.
Yeah, I'll take this first one. I've communicated this with the board pretty clearly. We had hired a cook for the elementary school, and unfortunately, she just kind of fell off the face of the planet, stopped communicating with us, and did not show up for the days that she had been assigned. So we're rescinding that employment offer. She never actually worked for us. You had approved it at the last meeting, so we need to rescind that offer. You're going to see in the next action item that we were able to quickly fill that void and have a great start to the school year going there. So looking to rescind the employment offer for Julia Stockley.
I'll make a motion to rescind the employment offer to Julia Stockley as cook of Bangor Elementary School effective the 2025-2026 school year.
I'll second.
Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Jessica. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Dave, you want to take the next one?
I sure do. Good evening, everybody. So we have an elementary special education paraprofessional. Her name is Michelle Bergmatson.
The cook is first.
Yeah, the
Oh, you mean the
part-time
one I have
elementary
highlighted right
cook.
here on my computer? Yeah, okay. Just getting ahead of myself here.
It's okay.
Yeah. So the first one we're going to do is the elementary cook. So it's a part-time position, and she's an assistant cook to Jan Kastenschmidt. And I think the reason I was going to do them backwards is because we actually hired her out of the field of the interviewees that we had for our for the paraprofessional. She applied for that position as well, and so luckily we were able to get her from that. She's a perfect fit. She's worked with the Learning Wagon and still can actually because her schedule fits. So it's great for her. It's great for us, and everything seems to be going just wonderfully with her.
So looking to approve the hire of Heather Murphy.
I'll make a motion to approve the hire of Heather Murphy as cook at Bangor Elementary School effective for the 2025-2026 school year.
Second.
Motion by Lisa, seconded by Kelly. Any questions or further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Go ahead, Mr. Luke.
All right, thanks. Moving forward, or backward, however we want to look at this, the next hire that we had was Michelle Berg-Matson, and as I had previously stated, we interviewed 7 people for the paraprofessional position, and it was a great field of interviewees, and Michelle, we really found, we just knocked it out of the park with her. We really won the lottery, I think. In finding her, and so she comes to us with some unique background. She has a experience as a funeral director in Oklahoma, And we had a little bit of fun with that, and I made, had a little bit of humor with that in service with her permission. I asked her first if it was okay, but her experience that directly relates to her job is that she actually has a child who has special needs, and she just, in the interview, it just stood out very clearly that she is very well versed in this world of special education, and she has a real passion for helping kids. So it's been great.
I'll make a motion to approve the hire of elementary special education paraprofessional Michelle Berg-Matson, effective for the 2025-26 school year.
I'll second.
Motion by Joni, seconded by Lisa. Any further questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Retirement?
Yeah, you guys may or may not know, but Mike Stang listens and watches every one of our board meetings. So I need to say something nice here because he's listening and watching. No, it's really easy. Mike Stang, Building and Grounds Director. I've heard this story a number of times. When he started here, Roger Fagan threw him a giant clump of keys and said, "Figure it out." And that was kind of what his initial training was. And he's served the district, I believe, a whole bunch of years now, 15 years, and has been just an incredible asset to the district during that time. I think when we start to think about, and this will be some of the conversations that our Building and Grounds team has, is defining his job description, the things that he does that nobody sees and nobody thinks about just getting done, that he's here early in the morning, on the weekends, taking care of to make sure that they're happening and looking good. And the things that he sees that wasn't asked of him that he just thinks would be an awesome thing to have done, then he comes in and makes it happen. It's just outstanding. So we really, really appreciate his work with the school district during that time, his help and support through the referendum process and all those types of things as well. I have really enjoyed working with him. He's not going away immediately, which is good. He's going to finish out this year's contract. He also understands, after listening to the meetings, how important it's going to be to have some time to find his replacement, and then hopefully have some transition time so he can get trained. It'd be great to have somebody at least here by sectional track and graduation and all of those types of things that happen at the end of the year, and start to break them in and have them understand the scope of things that are going on. So Mike has been incredible, and would ask you to move to approve his retirement effective at the end of his 25-26 contract.
Since he's watching, I will also say something nice. He's probably fielded too many phone calls for me, and he's never once rolled his eyes in front of me. Probably maybe when I left, but just with working with him on the Booster Club, he actually fielded a call from me tonight after hours. So thank you, Mike, for never rolling your eyes in front of me. But I will make a motion to approve the retirement of Mike Stang as District Building and Grounds Coordinator effective June 30th, 2026.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Lisa, seconded by Shelley. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And I just want to make a comment, Mike. I love how you ended your letter. Bangor pride is a real thing. That's true. Very nice. Nice way to sum it all up. All right, moving on. Next retirement, elementary para sign language interpreter.
Would you like to, Dave, or you want me to?
How about you do it, but I would like to comment.
So Brenda Bratz.
I'll wait.
He's
Brenda.
still learning.
We're figuring it out. It'll be okay. Brenda Bratz has been here the entire time that I have been, and it has been a para that we have used as an absolute jackknife. Just can do anything within our elementary school, and has been incredible. The last 2 years, she has been serving as our sign language interpreter that we haven't been able to fill, as well as the para for a student, and the relationship that they have is incredible. We've been incredibly fortunate to have her, and she's just heart of gold, supporting every adult and student in our building. Just a real heart for service, and unfortunately has some health issues and is going to step away as of December 19th of 2025. So we wish her the absolute best and a long and happy, healthy retirement with this. But looking for approval of that. Dave, if you got anything else you want to add, go ahead.
Just the only thing I really wanted to say is I felt compelled to just say how much she means to our school. She's amazing. I haven't been there very long, obviously, and I'm just, it's inspiring to watch her work. I told her that in an email that, I mean, I'm motivated by watching her work, and I wish every one of you could see her work, especially with this young man that she works with, kid that she works with, and it's just amazing. So I'd invite you to come down and check it out sometime.
I'll make a motion to approve the retirement elementary para and sign language interpreter, Brenda Bratz, effective December 19th, 2025.
I'll second.
Motion made by Kelly, seconded by Jessica. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Administrative reports. We'll start with Mr. Chaplin.
Thanks, Julie. So first thing I have on there is Special Festers Day. We've been doing Special Festers Day, going to that since I got here. It's just a time in Oktoberfest that they open the carnival rides to students with disabilities, and it's gotten bigger. Most of the area schools, I want to say like down to Viroqua, Toma, all the area schools within probably an hour can come to that. Sometimes they have all the rides open, sometimes they don't, but it's just a time for kids that may not do well with the bigger crowds, that they have time to go there, that they don't have to worry about all the other kids that would be around there. Plus, there's adult support that goes there from all the schools. So I think Mr. Luke is going to come this year and see what it's all about. So it's a good time if you ever get a chance to go to Special Festers. They have all the Oktoberfest people there as well. So. The other thing on there is everyone's favorite thing, state testing dates. We don't have any, well, I guess the elementary does have the early literacy screener, and that has to be done before the 45th day of school. I know they already started on that. And then the other testing starts in January for all the required state things.
Any questions for Mr. Chaplin? Thank you. Mr. Luke.
All right. I have a bit of a reputation for being long-winded, and so Brian here has an awful lot to say tonight, so we agreed that I would keep it short. So, number one, childcare. We had a lot of discussion about this last week with Learning Wagon, and they currently have 4 kiddos that are coming on Fridays and using our spare, I'll call it our spare 4K room. And as I had mentioned there, Josie, who owns the business, she is in constant communication with our 4K teachers, so that we make sure that that they have a say in how that room is used, of course, because it is a 4K room, our 4K room first, and everybody understands that. Number 2, our new curriculum. I just wanted to make a little comment on that. So we have the new reading curriculum, Into Reading. and an updated version of math expressions, and especially with the into reading, this has been a heavy lift, to use Mike Johnson's lingo, for the teachers, but it's not only been a heavy lift for the teachers. We're working on a single sign-on, Google single sign-on, so that when kiddos are using this, they don't. If you can imagine kindergartners signing on to this every day when they're using it, it'd be a waste of time. And so John Magnuson as well as Sherry Horseman have been spending a lot of time working on that with us, and we really appreciate that. We have some more trainings coming up with the reading curriculum. The first will be on September 19th during our PD day. And then we just had a Zoom today with the company HMH, and we don't have dates for those yet, but we will have additional trainings coming up. So it's not just an initial training for the teachers, it's ongoing training for them, to include another in-person training where we'll have somebody here all day working with the teachers side by side. So we're excited about that. We're excited about where this is headed for our kids.
Any questions for Mr. Luke? Thank you. Mr. Wopat.
Good evening. Tonight I bring to you a new program that we applied for through the DPI. It's called the GED option number 2. Currently for our at-risk students, we have a program for them to go through, but the problem is if they're credit deficient, then we have to send them to Western to earn their HSED. Basically, the GED option 2 allows them to do that in-house within our at-risk program. So we wouldn't have to shell out the cost to send them to Western. Basically, it's the exact same criteria. It's the same exams. 15 hours a week is what they're required to do. 10 of it has to be on the coursework. And then after that, 5 can be to other requirements, such as the volunteering requirement that we have for graduation. And so we're looking forward to putting that into place as an option for our at-risk students, because it's one of those things where we have to meet with parents, we have to meet with the student, they have to agree to it as well. The second thing that I'd like to bring to you is the coaching positions. Mr. Laxton and I met this past week and discussed. We have 7 different positions that are open: 7th grade boys basketball, 8th grade girls basketball, JV boys basketball, JV reserved C-team boys basketball, and that's just for winter. In spring, we have JV baseball, softball assistant, and track coach. Those positions were posted last weekend. We're going to give 2 weeks, so not this Friday, but next Friday. Already there are a couple applications coming in, so we're hopeful that we can get those filled rather quickly. The next thing that I want to talk to you guys about is this year we implemented a program called Smart Pass. So it was brought to me right at the beginning, right before the school year started. Basically, the staff had conversations about this in the spring, but they hadn't totally seen how the program works. So working with Sherry in IT, it was a matter of, could we connect with them and Zoom with the company so they could actually highlight the program and answer staff's questions? So during in-service, we did that. Just put them on the big screen, and then they were able to show it to the staff, and then staff was able to ask questions. After that, it was a quick turnaround because then school was starting on Tuesday. But after staff saw it, it's pretty intuitive. I'm going to give you a demo tonight. Since this past Tuesday of this week, we went full implementation across the building. It's been interesting to see how simple actually it has become. Really all it is just replacing the paper pass, but it also gives us really good data in terms of where students are going, how long it's taking. Monday, there was a student that was out, and I'll show you how it can flag them. It just goes from green to red after their pass has timed out. And to go check in on that student after 10 minutes, he was not feeling well and he didn't know what to do. So we're learning that there are a lot of benefits to it. So what I'd like to do, if you're willing to bear with me, is I want to show it to you, how this works. Here we go. And I want the comments. Okay. So when students log in, they get this button that basically just says to create a Smart Pass. So when they go in, they type in their name. I don't even know who we're going to get here. So we're going to say Jonathan. He needs a pass. So he'll go in, hit continue. Where's he coming from? So let's say currently he's with someone's wife. And he's going to, let's say to his locker. He has this option here of how much time. So he'll go over to the teacher and he'll say, okay, I want to go to the locker. Is that okay? And they can turn around and say, yep, but we're only going to give you 3 minutes to do it just because it's out in the hall. And then the pass starts from there. On my end, I can see what passes are actually active at that time. So when I talked about that student that got sick, what I've been doing is I've been stationing myself out either at the high school end or at the middle school end during classes and just monitoring where students are going. The best part about this is as the kids come out of the classrooms, I get to know their names and put their name to their face. Just an extra benefit to it. As they walk by and I'm like, how's your day, Jonathan? You're new, you shouldn't know me, but it's working really well. When they come back, they just click off that the pass is ended and it's over. We then can turn around and get data. So when you look at it, like the one student that was reported today was a student that was with me in the nurse's office. The average pass time for all the passes that we've created, 3.1 minutes. And then this shows us like hourly during the day, how many passes are used. So PBIS is really looking into using this. Staff, for them, it really was about consistency between the middle school and the high school. So the middle school was using their planners, and the high school wasn't. They were using normal passes, no passes, sticks, just objects. And so what this has done is really made it consistent across the entire building. After that presentation from the company, I asked the staff, is this what you want? And all of them were like, yes, we want to move into this direction. So it's been pretty positive.
Is this something they use their iPads to log in and out of then?
Yep.
So we're not encouraging them to have their personal cell phones, and it's their iPads that they're already using. Perfect.
So the cool part is that if they want to, when they go somewhere, they just log it and then leave it on their desk, go do their stuff, and then come back. The only time they would take it is if I'm going to go to the library, talk to someone, stay there for a while, and then they need the pass back. Otherwise, they just leave it in the room.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Wopat?
I have a couple that I wrote down. On that GED option 2 program, so we're going to be offering that, and you said that is in replacement of Western?
Nope, it's just as an option. So we'll ask students, like, do you want to go to Western? Because this is an option where you have a lot of freedom to do that. Or do you want to take it in-house? Basically the same thing.
But if we offer it here, wouldn't we want to cut that expense? Like that they would have to take it here? Why would we let them have that choice?
I'm gonna voice. I think it's going to be a team discussion at that point in time. I believe we will still. We have had students that have struggled in this environment, and by getting them to Western, we're still providing them the education that they need and that we are getting them, but they're at a place where there's less distractions of the entire school setting. If we have a student that is fine in this environment and just struggling to keep up academically, wants to be here in this environment, then this would be a great option. I think it's going to be a case by case of which option's the best, which one the family would support, which one we think makes the most sense. But we have had success we've had a lot of success with Western with kiddos that are just struggling to be in the school environment.
Best case scenario is nobody needs either one.
Correct. And I do think we have seen, and I think schools in general, when we were at Western for the graduation last year, I think we still have some COVID effect on kids, and there's more and more kids that are kind of disengaged from school because they got disengaged during COVID. And I hope the job that we're doing at the elementary where kids didn't experience that, coming up through now, it's a different experience for them, and we use it less and less. I think it's a really good option for us, and if we can do that and have that cost saving moving forward, awesome.
But it's not going to be a normal classroom setting if they choose to take this here, right? It's a little bit different.
Correct. Yeah, it would be in the
At-risk.
at-risk room that they're putting the time in. So it's still not going to be in the regular classroom.
And then my second question was the coaching positions. Where are those all posted for applicants? Is it just Facebook? Is it Weekend? Is
Yep.
it like
Currently, they're posted on Weekend and the website.
I've seen them on
I
Facebook.
saw them on Facebook.
Yeah.
I was just curious. Okay, those are the only questions I had.
Good questions.
Thank you. Dr. Brockup?
Yeah, I wanted to just chat with you guys tonight. The 26-27 calendar, as we were doing the refresh on this, we had a really good conversation in the pre-board meeting with Julie and Shelley and I that we really want to look at the 26-27 calendar. Many of the school districts around us are starting well before September 1st, which is what the law is, and do we want to participate in that? So when we look at the districts around us, there are a couple that are construction related, which we have benefited from in the past. And there are multiple that are now using the exemption when you have a private school in your school district and you transport those kids. There can be a financial implication for transporting them. So a number of the school districts are using that as an avenue to get an exemption through DPI. So starting and kind of aligning with the private schools. So this year, I believe it was the 21st that St. Paul started. We could have conversations with them in the future, line up the start dates, and we could write the letter for the variance to that. I think one of the other options when we look at school start date and we look at that 26-27 school year, Labor Day is really late. So you have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the 1st through the 4th, that are going to happen before Labor Day, no matter what. If we just went to the 31st and got that Monday in there, we do the the 6th and 9th grade start now. There's a lot of just teaching routines and everything at the elementary school. We could actually bring this calendar this year and call that a jump start day. We count it as one of our teachers' days. We can't necessarily require all students to attend that day, but we call it a jump start day. We do all the same things that we usually have done on the first day of school, and then we actually count those minutes towards summer school minutes. So that goes towards our FTE count from our summer school, which would be advantageous to us as well. That would give us starting August 31st would have us out, the way that I'm calculating it right now, would have us out the Friday before Memorial Day. So we could have graduation that weekend for the 26-27 school year. I wanted to ask you guys tonight, what is your thought on that? Would you like me to pursue both of those options? Should we pursue the jump start day and be done by Memorial Day for 26-27? Or do you want me to work with St. Paul's and maybe even consider starting even sooner and being done more the middle of May? It would be dependent on what you guys are comfortable with there. I am going to meet with the BEA next week, and this is going to be one of the topic of conversations that I have with them, kind of feel them out on what they're feeling on this, and then I hope to have a couple drafts, or at least a good draft for you next month. But I wanted to get some feedback with you guys. How important is it that we move the start date forward, and is that something you'd like to see in the draft that you get next month?
Do we really have much feedback from when we used the construction exemption? Did we hear much? Did people like it?
I can only speak for myself. I get asked every year from my constituents, why do we not start in August? Every other school does, Julie, and they're not building. Why are we not starting earlier? Every summer I get asked by numerous people.
Well, and a late Labor Day is going to make it even worse. This year it was so early, though.
We did get a ton of comments about how much everybody appreciated that school year, that we started earlier and being done earlier. There was a lot of really positive feedback about that. It's been really difficult with the last couple calendars, obviously this year with September 1st being Labor Day. But I think what we're seeing is there are more ways to look at that. And if you guys feel that's important, if you're hearing that from your constituents, those are the types of proposals that I'll bring you forward. Otherwise, I can bring you something forward that rolls just like we've done.
I do appreciate you getting the teachers' feedback as well. I hear from parents about the middle of August, kids are ready to get back into school. And I think Shelley mentioned volleyball has started, football has started, cross country has started. They're here anyway.
Well, and like everything else, this year we were one of the few that weren't starting in August, and everybody was wondering why we weren't starting in August.
I believe we're the only school in La Crosse County that did not start early.
How hard would it be to send out a survey to every family or whatever, just to see how?
It
I
wouldn't
think-
be difficult at all.
I think talking with St. Paul's and aligning with them, they're in our community, the same parents, and they have kids that go to both and stuff that way, that I think aligning with them would be really helpful to them as well.
But who's going to pick that start date? Because they're quite early. I mean, would we go-
they would be like a week earlier, which
Right.
means we're done a week before Memorial Day. And are you going to go a week before graduation?
You could do the different breaks.
Sure.
Your holiday breaks could be
Yep.
longer or something that way,
Yep.
that you finish that Friday before. I think, people would appreciate that as well.
You could ask that on a survey too.
Your proposal, tell me again, you said would be the first, the Tuesday after the holiday, right?
So
For 26, 27.
for 26-27, when I just did the numbers, if we
Yeah.
start the 31st, which is the Monday before Labor Day,
Okay,
we could be done the
We would have that
Friday
Friday
before
off.
Memorial Day.
okay.
So that could be our last half day, which if we hosted sectional track, it's already there.
So we would have a full week, then a holiday, and then come back for a
Yep.
4-day.
Yep.
So they would get a break after that first week of
Yep.
school. Okay.
Yep.
They always used to get St. Paul's, because my kids obviously went there, but they always used to be done that Friday going into Labor Day weekend.
Right.
So I don't think it would hurt to ask him. I happen to know who the head of the education committee is down there. He lives with me, so I could probably get you set up with, getting that conversation.
Yeah.
So
And-
I'm sure you know the principal and everybody down there already, so.
Yeah, and I think when we talked, I'm like, I think it's construction related, but as I looked into it, that is the exemption that they are using. There are only a few exemptions in statute. There are very limited reasons for why you can start before September 1st, but that's the one that's being used. And I heard from DPI today, put in your requests, and they are being looser with the, accepting those requests. So if it makes sense to our community, it's just a matter of how soon do we go, and can we get on the same page with them, and I liked being done at Memorial Day as well. Those couple days in June when you're coming back.
And I can't speak for
hard.
St. Paul's, but right now they do their own transportation on that week and a half. So as a parent, I'm sure, or guardian, they would appreciate a bus route.
I would like to see us ask our families, though. I would like for them to have input.
We will get that together and get it out.
Yeah, our teachers and our families. I think
our
families.
families
I
should
think
be-
Lisa's
yep.
got a good idea. I think a survey would be great.
Well, if you
We'll
get
do that.
somebody complaining the opposite way, you will have, if the stats are,
3/4 of the
yeah, this is why we did it,
Right.
I think I would do a general survey with a spot for information. And we have the first year, I think we just focus on the next year. We don't have to look for the next 10 and see how the next year goes and then reevaluate.
Well, and we can't, because we don't know what states that could change too.
I think that getting the teacher input and what they want also, because it very much affects staffing but the other thing that I thought about after I talked to you was we switched our summer school to earlier too. So this year, when the kids are only out for 1 week or 2 weeks, it's really hard to try to encourage them to come back for summer school right after just having 1 week off. And we used to go much later in July, and then we switched that not too many years ago. So I think the benefit of that too may be nice also.
Well, I think it not only gives the kids a break, but it gives the staff a break
Yeah.
too. Yeah, for sure. Okay, I appreciate the discussion and feedback. I'll get some more data and we'll bring that to you, bring you some options next month. And you know, we would not have to approve it. We could have additional discussion next month. If you're ready to approve it, we could at that point in time. So we'll have it ready. Enrollment updates, just the third Friday count is coming up. We did complicate the third Friday by having a PD day on the third Friday, so we'll be a little bit slow on completing all of that data. It'll be okay. But what we're looking at for students' butts and seats right now is right on where we expected we would be at the end of last year. Sorry, my notes just went away from me.
So, David, how does that work then if we're not in school on that Friday?
We have to use an alternative date, which is like a week later.
So you can just choose,
the
I
statute,
got worried there for a
the
minute.
statute says, so it will be fine. It's just going to be a little bit more work and it's a little bit slower than usual.
Got it.
Jody is the one that's the least excited about it. The rest, yeah, I mean, it won't affect anything else. So we'll get through it, and I'll help Jody and support her through that. Yeah, correct. 10-4. Yeah. And we changed it this year. It was fine. And then we changed it with the whole homecoming and all of that type of stuff. And then when that was identified, I'm like, we're not changing it again. We're not just going to continue to flip things around here. So we will definitely keep that in mind moving forward. The enrollment, as I said, is running right on target with where we thought we would be at the end of last year, and running really well. The butts and seats does not necessarily equal the FTE count, but obviously it's that time of year where we're starting to get ready for October and the annual meeting. Assuming even just a slight drop in the FTE from where we were last year and that whole 3-year average that happens on that revenue limit worksheet, when we look at all of the projections on that revenue limit worksheet right now, which there'll be quite a bit that comes in. If you'll recall, at referendum time, we are at that 9.25 right now, and we were hoping to get down, to that like 9.1, somewhere in that. We're feeling very confident that we should be able to get below 9. So that's a really, really good thing. The property value is a factor, but as we looked at that, there is a lot of new property coming online, and I think that's a really positive thing for our community, and that helps distribute it out so it's not just where the property value is increasing. So that's a big part of it, but we should be able to continue to drop that mill rate as we've said that we would continue to target. So that more to come on that. I'll have a draft of that for you, obviously, at next month's meeting, and then we'll come back a couple weeks later and approve the final budget projections and all, or the final budget and everything. Any questions for me?
Thank you, Dr. Brockup. All right, removal of items from the consent agenda. Tonight on the consent agenda, we have our current openings, Schedule C changes, which board docs had that, and I think we have it in our packets as well. We've got a couple of early graduation requests. And then also on board docs, the library plan review.
And that's as much as anything, that's what it is, and we will be reviewing and having a new one for 26-29. So,
Schedule C changes, it says. Is that merely just names, not refilling
The
numbers
highlights
and the amounts all stayed the same. I
yep.
didn't see anything.
The
major.
highlighted changes are where we've maybe taken somebody out because they've let us know they're not going to coach, or we've put somebody new in as we've filled that. So if it's blank, those are the ones that Brian was chatting with us about. And there's one additional one for middle school track that is still on here that we'll update for you later. But we did that a little differently this year. I gave you that whole document, and I said I would just keep you updated as we change those things versus having all of those, individual approvals.
If there's no other discussion, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Shelley, seconded by Kelly. Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I ask for adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Tina, seconded by Joni. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, everyone.